Welcome to Barf City episode 65. I'm Eric,
Kevin.
and I should say happy Halloween to everyone.
Good
I mean, it's not
evening.
Halloween when we're recording this, but it'll be Halloween about ish when it comes
Oh man.
out.
Yeah, I think it'll come out like 2 days before Halloween or something like that.
Like a day, because you do it on typically on Thursday, so it'll be
Oh,
the
the
day
day
before
before.
Halloween. Because
For
Halloween's
some reason, I was
Friday.
thinking Halloween was on Saturday, but no, it's on Friday.
No, it's Friday, which is kind of fitting for what this episode is.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's this episode about?
So last Halloween, we ranked our rankings for the Halloween movies. This time we decided to move on to a different slasher, Jason Voorhees, and technically his mom and Roy as well. But we're ranking the Friday the 13th series. So because there are 12 movies, let's just get into it. We have a little time at the end, we'll chit chat it up.
Right. Um, did you want to go first or me?
I mean, I
Or
can. We're
how
going.
did you want to do it like the same way we did Halloween, where we bounce back and forth, or
Yeah, let's do a bounce back and forth.
all right. Yeah, because that'd probably be better because I I tend to ramble with with I almost said Halloween. Friday the 13th, just a warning, a heads up to people. If you haven't seen some of these movies, major spoilers alert because like I'm not gonna probably hold back talking
No,
about like
he's a
major
nerd
plot
on this
points.
one.
So yeah. Unlike the Halloween ones, especially with the newer ones, I tried not to say like too much but with these I'm just gonna probably be going all out. So just fair warning. Do you want me to go first or
Yeah,
okay?
we'll let the resident Friday the 13th fanatic go first.
All right. So number 12, this might be controversial depending on like people's ranking, but personally I put the 2009 version at the bottom. So uh
The remake,
yeah, it's not so much that
2008, by the
I
way.
Yeah, it's not so much that I hate this movie. It's just I would say out of all of them, it's just the one I find probably the most boring. It's just not that interesting to me. I don't, most of the characters are very forgettable in my opinion. I mean, and that's coming from a Friday the 13th movies. Uh, and I like bits and pieces of the portrayal of Jason in this movie, but I wouldn't say I like all of it. Like there's parts about it I really like, and then parts about it I don't. I do like the fact that he moves a little faster in this movie. That's kind of a nice touch. But most of I feel like Jason in large portions of this movie is kind of like not really shown in shot a lot of shots. There's a lot of shots where he's like killing people from a distance and stuff like that, and which I don't really like. And but yeah, my biggest complaint is just the movie's just kind of boring to me. Admittedly, I've only seen this movie probably 4 times. It's the one I've watched the least out of all of them because it's just not that entertaining. But yeah, number 12 for me personally. So so hopefully that doesn't piss anybody off. And if it does, I'm sorry, I guess. So all right. So what's your number 12?
My number 12 is Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
Ah, yeah.
I do not like it. It's stupid. Completely fucking stupid. Like, I liked the concept at first. Like, we were going back to the who done it of the very first movie kind of feel.
Yeah.
But again, what failed the first movie for me is we don't know the character who's supposed to have been the who done it.
Yeah.
So when it's revealed, when the Scooby Doo moment happens and it's Roy, you're like, what the fuck is this guy? They literally had to explain to you who that guy is.
Yeah.
And he's got so many kills that are unnecessary and pointless to his character
Yeah.
to even try and be, you know. Jason Voorhees. Like they're I get it. There are people like, oh, well, he killed those people because he's supposed to, he's trying to pretend that Jason Voorhees is bad.
Yeah.
But Jason Voorhees didn't kill outside the fucking campground, really, for the
Right.
longest time, unless he hunted you outside the camp, from the camp, from the lake, But so like the one black kid's brother and his girlfriend were pointless kills. The old couple in the fucking grocery store were pointless. It's just, and of course, we're playing on, fuck, forgot his name. The boy from 4, 5, 6.
Tommy Jarvis?
Huh?
Tommy Jarvis? Is that who you're talking about?
Tommy, yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
I just literally was refreshing myself on some characters.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing on Tommy's PTSD. And, like, Tommy should have known that that wasn't Jason. Like, even with his PTSD, because, like, for one thing, the Jason that he experiences was much bigger, for one. The guy was big, but I guess, you can say he grew up, so he's a little proportionate different, but the hockey mask is different. I don't know. How to get me a drink? I don't know. I just don't like the concept. I get they were trying to make, the final chapter be the final chapter,
Yeah.
which I mean,
Spoiler alert, it was not the final
the
chapter.
final chapter, yeah.
And the final Friday of part 9 was not the final Friday.
Final Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. It was weak. The who did it was horrible. It's like they're trying to feed off the original, which to me honestly is only mid tier, but any as itself. So like, yeah, that's my number 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with your one statement. I always jokingly refer to this movie as like a rated R version of Scooby-Doo. I'm like, because
It
it kind of feels
is.
like that. Especially the ending. Yeah, feels very Scooby-Doo like. Um, all right, my number 11 is again, this one might actually be even more controversial. Which is Friday the 13th, part 3. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, a lot of people put this one quite a bit high. I've even seen a fair amount of people put this at their number 1 or 2, actually, amongst Friday the 13th fans. But admittedly, this is like, I'm not a big fan of this movie. I feel
yeah.
like it focuses way too much on the 3D aspects, and most of the characters, I really don't like them. Unlike 2009, like the remake version, like the characters admittedly I don't really like because they're kind of forgettable, or at least to me anyway. But with this one, like they're just annoying to me. I don't really care for like any of them. Um, and there's a lot of really dumb like side stories, like the whole part where they're going to the convenience store or something, and then you have that whole like gang group or something, which I don't really like. I thought that whole aspect of the
Oh,
movie,
the biker gang.
yeah, I thought that whole aspect was pretty stupid, if you
I
ask me.
liked it.
And then I don't know. I don't really like I don't actually like the final girl of this movie. She gets on my nerves. It's actually probably the only movie out of all of them where I don't like the final girl actually. Um but I will say one good thing about this movie is it of course is the iconic movie where Jason gets his hockey mask for the first time and you get to see him step out on scene with it on. So and little did the writers and producers know how iconic that would become because they just did it just kind of for kicks, really. They didn't know that it would be a big deal later on.
Yeah.
And so that's one, I will say that's one shining moment that the movie has. But yeah, for the most part, that moment aside, I dislike almost every single thing about this movie. I don't really get why people rank it so freaking high. I can understand why they put it higher than me, understandably, but like why like in your one, two, or three? I don't know. Admittedly, I don't know what Eric's ranking is, so maybe he has it up there. I guess we'll find out. But so I guess I'll shut up. Anyway, what's your number 11?
My number 11 is Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh yeah.
If I was to watch this movie, like only one reason I like Jason Goes to Hell is because by the time you get to Jason Goes to Hell, if you're watching, the marathon of it, you get it's a break from the like I said, the like routine that the other Jason movies have gotten into. Like it's a
Yeah.
break from that typical routine.
Yeah.
So it does come out as a fresh breath of air sometimes. You're like, oh, is now this was just like action packed Jason, but it's just action packed Jason Voorhees with some stupid ass like
Yeah.
family blood shit that can kill Jason and send him out to hell. And like, yeah, I lined up one of my favorite movies of the franchise, but like, it, again, it's literally just like I said, it's just action Jason Voorhees movie. All the just, I don't mind. It's almost like oh, which one of it in the Halloween movies where the fucking guys are in the pickup truck and Michael jumps on the pickup truck, starts killing them all.
Isn't that the fourth one, The Return of Michael Myers?
Is it the
Or is it,
Return
or
of Michael
maybe that,
Myers?
yeah, or
Or,
maybe
or
that
is it
is
the
the
one with
fifth.
his niece?
Yeah, maybe that is the fifth one. Or yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those in the Thorn trilogy.
Yeah. So it's just
Mhm.
I, when it comes to slasher films, I don't like the whole over the top. Oh, just military guys, just da 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 da, or some random redneck with gun. Da 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 da. Damn. It comes off as a little too cheesy, and the fact that his little like larva form thing,
Yeah.
yeah, the whole possession is stupid. He can only be reborn if he possesses the body of someone he shares
Yeah,
the
they
blood
they
with.
really did make a lot of shit up for that movie, didn't they?
God, they did. But again, like if you're watching in the marathon, it's entertaining. You can shut your brain off and watch it, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's just they did a little too much. Shutting up now.
Oh, okay. Right. My number 10 is, I didn't realize this till now, but is ironically the 10th movie, uh, Jason X. Um, I want to clarify that my bottom two are the only ones that I'm just not really big fans of. Pretty much everything from 10 up, I actually do
Yeah.
legitimately like the movie, or at least find it entertaining, even if I don't take the movie like super seriously. But Jason X, I will admit, like it is pretty stupid. I mean,
You
it's
don't like
literally
Uber
Jason.
Jason?
Yeah, it's literally Jason and like on a spaceship in space. I mean, it's pretty goofy. But like, I will admit, unlike my bottom two, at least this movie entertains me. I can't really think of any scenes that I find like boring or too draggy or, and it's not a movie that I feel like I have to kind of, unlike part three, where every time I'm doing the marathon, that always feels like the one I have to kind of force myself to watch. But with this one, I never feel that way. It's like it's just a fun watch. Turn your brain off. Don't think about it too much. And I'm entertained. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is out of all 10 that I like, it is on the bottom for a reason because it is pretty silly. But but yeah, it's a pretty good time. It also has probably one of my favorite kills in the franchise, the one where the was the liquid nitrogen or something like that, where he dumps her head in
Yeah.
and then smashes her down. That was an epic kill. So. And I know it's kind of goofy, but I actually kind of like Uber Jason. I think he has a pretty I like that early 2000s aesthetic look to him. Like
Yeah.
when he steps out of it, I think the what are the nanoids or whatever they're
The
called?
nanites.
Yeah, nanites. Yeah, And when he steps out of the machine and he looks like that, I was like, I kind of like it. I think it's pretty epic looking. Like I said, it definitely has like early 2000s written all over it, but I like the early 2000s because that's my nostalgic time. So I'm biased, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's my number 10. So,
Okay. My number 10 is Jason Takes Manhattan.
oh yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I had to stop for a second. I'm like, Jason Takes Manhattan. I was like, oh yeah, you think I'd know that one?
So like I do like some of the stuff to it, but it mostly comes down to how wet Jason constantly looks, the kid thing with the toxins, the fucking teacher's annoying. Uh, just some things are just so stupid. The fact that that he follows them all the way to New York, and he's like, and no one questions this big motherfucker just dripping water walking through Times Square.
Welcome to New
Like,
York, Eric. Welcome to New
yeah. Oh, in New York, somebody like that would get fucking gunned down.
York.
Um, it feels like that would have been where you'd want, your Jason go to hell action. But I mean, I like the movie overall. I mean, again, like the only movie I absolutely hate of the franchise, for the most part, is just number five. But it just, yeah, the kills were kind of goofy. The way it ended was kind of boring to me. And that was supposed to be it until, of course, Jason Goes to Hell thing.
Yeah,
But that was supposed to have been the final movie, and it's for the it being supposed to be the final movie, they kind of killed him in a stupid way.
yeah. There were a lot of Friday the 13th movies that were supposed to be the final one, but yeah, the part eight is one of them. Yeah, it was supposed to end the series.
But at least it was a good kill.
Yeah,
It was a good ending. But anyways, that's my number 10. Not much to say on Manhattan because, like, I can watch it. I can enjoy it in the series. It's just not my fave.
yeah. My number nine is again, ironically, the ninth movie. Jason Goes to Hell. Um, this is a movie that I have definitely changed in ranking quite a bit. There's a lot of pretty much all of them below my top three have
Hmm.
shifted around over the years, but this one has shifted the most. I used to have this one way higher on the list because I actually loved this movie for several years. But admittedly, the past like yeah 3-ish years, every time I rewatch it, the less I like it. And so admittedly, like if you were to ask me if we were to ever do this ranking again in the future, it might even work its way further down. Well, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I still enjoy the movie. Like you said earlier, I like the action scenes; they're fun to watch. Um, but the I just can't get over the fact that the story of the movie is just utterly like stupid.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of really weird and stupid scenes in it. The like the whole shaving scene, and even the
Hmm.
writer slash director admitted he only put that scene in there just for the sake of being weird. It literally had no purpose to the story of lack thereof. And which I didn't like when I found that out because I thought, well, maybe there's some kind of weird meaning behind this that I'm not getting. But nope, he literally just put it in there just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
So I Duke is a pretty cool character, I guess. I like him personality wise, but he feels so inserted into the story, like he just suddenly pops out of nowhere and he knows all this stuff. And it's like, where the hell has he been for 8 movies? Obviously, he didn't exist. He was just wrote for this movie, and I don't really like that. Most people's biggest complaint with this movie is the fact that you don't really actually get to see Jason himself, through most of the movie because obviously he's body hopping.
Yeah.
I actually don't dislike that concept. I actually like the concept of Jason body hopping and trying to get his own body back. I don't think it's executed very well at all in this movie though.
Yeah.
Uh, I, if you could take that concept and do some major rewrites, I think I would probably enjoy that idea a lot better. But
Yeah.
yeah, with this movie, not so much. I will admit, I do like the scene where he gets literally, I mean, when it says Jason goes to hell, like he literally gets physically, body and all, dragged down to hell and everything. Like, so the title is very literal. And I did like the gore in this movie is actually really good, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know who was in charge of the gore effects, but it's probably the best in the series gore wise. Like there's this part where like the guy where his body's melting and his literal whole jaw comes off, and it
Yeah.
looks, it's gross as crap and it looks really good. So and but yeah,
Yeah. Even
I
though it's not
do,
mine. Go ahead.
yeah, I actually kind of like, admittedly, I don't know how people feel about Jason's look in this movie, but I actually kind of like his look. It's really gross looking, but I actually kind of like it,
Mm,
like the way the mask is sort of caved into his face. So, and it's unfortunate that we don't get to see more of it though, because you only really get to see it at the beginning and at the very end. But probably a good thing on Kane Hodder's part, because apparently he actually hated wearing that suit because the fact that he couldn't take the mask off to breathe a little better. It was actually inserted into the makeup. He had to keep the whole thing on, which he admitted
yeah.
he hated. So that was on his end. He was probably relieved that he didn't have to wear it too much in the movie. So, but yeah. So anyway, I guess that's all I got to say about it.
All right. My number 9 is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Ah, yeah.
So there's a reason why, even though it's the introduction of Kane Hodder, which I love him as Jason, that is number 9, and that's mainly because like the movie had so much shit fucking with it. For one, it was actually supposed to be a Jason versus Carrie movie, but they couldn't get the rights to Carrie, so they made generic telepath
Oh man.
girl. And also, the reason that all the fucking kills are off screen is because the NCAA or whatever
MPAA.
time, yeah, they fucking ate that movie alive with all the fucking gore. Apparently, it was supposed to be one of the most goriest movies in the Friday the 13th franchise, but they got fucking hit hard over it.
Yeah.
So all the kills are off scene. You got generic Carrie. The only really good thing that came out of that movie is the design, Jason's design, and Kane Hodder, in my opinion.
Yeah, the design of him, I'll talk more about it in my ranking, but yeah, the design in that movie of Jason is pretty epic looking actually.
Yeah.
So
Number 8.
yeah, that was your eight. Okay.
That was my 9.
That was your nine. Oh yeah, my
Yeah.
eight. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
talking about my eight. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
My
8.
eight is Friday the 13th, the first one, part one.
Ah.
Again, I do like this movie, so keep in mind all the rankings I'm doing, because it's hard for me to rank them because I like a lot of these movies so much. But the reason why it's like at eight though is it's not because Jason's not in it. I don't mind that. Like obviously it's the first movie. Um, my biggest problem with this movie is it kind of it the biggest issue with this movie is it kind of paints itself as a whodunit movie, but I mean, it's really not though, because Pamela Voorhees' character simply just didn't exist until like the last 15 minutes of the movie or 10 minutes or whatever. And
Hmm.
so you would obviously never suspect her because she's not a character. I mean, if you've never seen this movie before, and so I don't really like that part about the movie. But as a whole, though, if I push that aside as I watch it, I do like actually a fair amount of the characters in the movie. I like a lot of the scenes where Pamela's like creeping around in the woods. Obviously it's just the cameraman essentially, and creeping around in the woods and kind of stalking the teenagers as she's slowly kind of plotting who to get to first and stuff like that. A lot of the shots are really good. I like the gore effect, especially for like early 80s, and
Hmm.
it's a really well done low budget movie. So for a low budget, it is actually pretty well done,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
something a lot of people forget
Yeah.
about the entire Friday the 13th franchise is originally it was just supposed to be a B rank, B to C horror films.
Yeah.
It was not meant to be as big as it actually turned out to be.
Yeah.
None of it was.
Yeah, they never intended on obviously making any sequels. Like most slasher movies, especially back in those days, no sequels were ever really intended.
Yeah.
And this was in one of them where they never imagined it ever having a sequel, let alone that many sequels as it did. And so it was supposed to be just this fun little spooky, woods, teenagers in the woods movie, and they just came up with a simple little story and it works really well, I think. Like I said, that's just my biggest gripe. I also don't really like the I kind of have a love-hate relationship with the end of the movie, like where Jason pops out of the water to scare her, but then it's explained as a dream, but yet in the dream the cops come to get her. So it's like, was part of it a dream and part of it not? I don't really like how that scene is, the ending
Yeah.
was handled. So it's a little weird. So maybe I get that they were probably trying to let the audience sort of decide for themselves, which again, even though it ended that way, the writers and director never intended there to be a sequel. They just ended it that way just to make it creepy, kind of like with Nightmare on Elm Street. The only
Yeah.
reason why it ended that way was because he wanted it to have a creepy ending. It was never meant to have a sequel. So
Yeah. But thing is, like that ending with Kid Jason and the whole all that
yeah,
really sparked off a major situation, reason why we don't have Friday the 13th stuff right
yeah, it did. Yep.
now. We'll get to maybe we'll talk about that at the end of the after we're done with the rankings. Alrighty, so my number eight is Jason X because I actually like Jason X, so like more than I guess you probably do.
Probably.
Mostly because like for one, it still feels Jason-y. Two, Jason is probably the only character in the slasher genre to be able to like go into space like that and not ruin it fully. Because like you couldn't have, Michael Myers in space. It would
Oh yeah,
really,
that wouldn't work. Yeah.
yeah, like you wouldn't have Chucky in space. It's just it worked, and it was like again, it was something similar to the original way they did things, but different enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, I chuckle every time at the camping hologram scene.
Oh yeah. Where they smoke pot and have premarital sex. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Jason
chuckle
don't
every
like
time
that.
at that.
He can't have that kind of stuff.
No, I still chuckle every time at that one. Hmm. Anyways,
All right, that was your number. So I'm on seven, right?
yep.
All right, my number seven is Friday the 13th, Part Five, A New Beginning. Um, I I I like this movie. One reason why I kind of put this, I will admit, like, because my number eight was the first one, but like it's pretty close. Like I said, a lot of these are really close in my head, but it's pretty close, especially with those two, because like I feel like this one just does a slightly better job than the first one does, at least with the who done it aspect, because at least it does a terrible job with the who done it, but at least it actually tries. Unlike
Yeah.
the first one doesn't even try. It just like doesn't. This one at least kind of tries to do a who done it thing where like they have these random, they're so random too, the way the scenes work. Like just out of nowhere, like Roy, like the paramedic, he'll just like pop into the scene or something and be like, "What? Did you say something?" Like, and that's like his only line because they're trying to like hint, hint, wink, wink to the audience that, hey, this is an important character. You need to remember this guy. But like, before you know who it's him, you would never like pick up on that. So they try to do it. They just do a terrible job, but at least they tried. So but that aside, though, I think probably my favorite thing about this movie is actually a lot of the characters. I actually really like a lot of the characters in the movie, particularly Reggie. He's a pretty good character, and I like
Yeah.
the final girl a lot too in this movie. I actually probably like her better than Alice from the first one. I like Alice too, but I think I like her a little better. And I don't really like though how they portray Tommy's character all that much. He's not really in a lot of scenes because they're trying really
Hmm.
hard to make the audience think that he might be Jason in this movie. And
Like all that crap he went through.
yeah,
Now
so
he's acting like Jason.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of that, he's not in a lot of, particularly in the middle portion of the movie, he's not in a lot of scenes, and then he just suddenly shows up at the end of the movie and plays hero all of a sudden, and so that part, admittedly, is pretty weak. But all that stuff aside, I still kind of enjoy it. It is the plot of the
Yeah.
movie is also a little silly because the whole thing kind of starts because of a chocolate bar incident, but
That's another thing I didn't really want to talk on, but yeah.
yeah, but
Another reason I
it's
hate
it's
that movie.
entertaining to me. I will say this movie entertains me more than the first one does. That's probably the biggest reason why I just barely put it over the first one. And it's pretty close. Like I said, easily in a, some time from now, they could be swapped around. So don't take that, so anybody like listening and getting ticked off, like I wouldn't take it too seriously. Like I said, those could easily get rotated around. So anyway, that's my number seven. So
The funny thing about it is my number seven is the OG.
yeah.
So for me, it's just the OG is all right. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
The kills are also better to me than part five. She Mrs. Voorhees is a better killer than Roy.
Hmm.
And like at least she is shown to be like at least unlike Roy, her killings is still about the lake. And Roy trying to utilize that kind of in an abomination way.
Yeah.
But again, I don't fully like the OG movie in a sense compared to some of the others. It's just a very mid movie. And if it wasn't for the fact that I do like some of the kills, I do like the final girl, uh, and it's got good pacing, it probably would have been much lower on the list for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the also with the knowledge of the fact that, they made this thinking there wasn't going to be no more. So
Yeah.
if they had plans on making, a sequel themselves originally, it probably would have gone a little bit different, more the way we would like it to have gone. But again, they didn't think there was going to be a sequel.
Yeah.
But there's not really much you can to say about the OG. Everyone knows the OG. All right. Anyways, let's move on.
I would say the key part with the first one, it should be remembered more for what it started than what it actually
Yeah.
did. I would say that about the first one.
Yeah. I agree.
Anyway, my number six, I believe, is Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New
Hmm.
Blood. Uh,
Okay.
I really like this movie actually quite a bit. Pretty much my ranking going forward, like I pretty much love the movies after that. Like from 10 up, it's like I at least like them, but from this one, from like 6 up, I pretty well love all of them. This one I really like quite a bit. Of course, it's the introduction to Kane Hodder, which he doesn't. I don't like him quite as much as C.J. Graham, I will admit, but I still love his portrayal of Jason. He does a really good job. and most people agree with that. And I love the look of Jason in this movie. He looks really, really badass in my opinion. And I like so many details went into his look in this movie as well. Uh yeah, I agree with Eric what Eric said about the kills. They definitely were watered down, unfortunately. The MPAA kept threatening that they would give it an X rating
Yeah.
if they didn't keep cut because during that time the MPAA hated a lot of horror and slasher movies, particularly this series. They absolutely hated it, and they were doing this crap on purpose. And so it's rather unfortunate, but it is what it is. So a lot of the characters are really cartoony, is probably the downside of this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
they've had cartoony characters in the past, but this one like really ups the ante, I think. And but I do like the final girl in this movie. I feel like she has a bit of a stronger character because she actually has powers herself, which is pretty cool. And Jason
No,
actually starts to show off some of his even more abilities than he did in part six. With
well, I
each
mean,
movie, after part six, with each movie, Jason kind of shows more and more of his supernatural abilities, and this is
yeah.
kind of the next step in that little
Well, like again, like the thing with the again with
Tina. I
the
think her
final,
name is
yeah,
Tina. Yeah.
Tina with the final girl there
Mm.
is again she was supposed to have been Carrie because they were wanting to do a Jason versus Carrie movie.
But yeah, um,
So of course they're going to give her a little bit more like oomph to her because like, well, we can't do Carrie, let's just make her own teenage girl with telekinetic powers.
yeah. Um, Probably my two biggest downsides with this movie. I'm not a big fan of the therapist that much. I mean,
Yeah,
I get
no.
what they were going for. It does add some extra like tension to the movie, which I like,
Hmm.
but I don't really like. Maybe it's the actor or maybe it's the writing. I'm not sure what it is, but there's just something off with this character. He just doesn't do anything for me. And the ending of
Yeah.
this movie is also really, really stupid, where her dad comes out of the water and pulls Jason down. I heard that they
Yeah.
were apparently he was supposed to be like a in zombie form, which would at least been better, but it would have still been stupid, but it would at least would have been better. But I they were apparently afraid that people wouldn't recognize him. So they just kept him just like he's just been sitting under there all those years. It doesn't make any sense and it's not explained at all. So, but
Yeah, because
anyway,
having him a zombie
I
form would have
digress.
been so much better to me
That would have made it
because
better. Yeah, it would have still been
with
stupid,
her
but at
using
least it
her
would have made it
powers,
better.
have
Yeah,
waking him up.
yeah,
So like, I mean,
yeah,
we're it lead into the the mystical undead abilities and the telekinetic stuff. So
yeah. If the ending wasn't like that, honestly, this movie would easily be ranked higher than it is. But the
if
ending
the
really kind of
yeah
almost ruins it for me. Like,
the
or at least more.
kills, the ending, and the more bland characters is what.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway,
Uh, my number six is the remake, the 2008 remake. I
I was
liked it
I was wondering where that one was
because
gonna land. Yeah.
it's not a good movie. Well, it's not a great movie. It's a good because I do like the quicker Jason. I do like the fact that seeing Jason brought back into upgraded graphics and all the new equipment we got that we can do them with. Like, I mean, it's like when I really liked the first Rob Zombie Halloween film. I didn't like the second one as much, but I was like, yeah, we need that kind of more revitalization with modern tech of the Friday 13th franchise, which we were gonna get if it wasn't for certain situation. Fucking bull crap. Oh, I love America. Home of the you don't like someone sue 'em. Anyways, but yeah, it's a good movie. I do like the side plot of the weed journey.
Yeah, that was a
I do
nice touch.
I do like the side plot. And honestly, it made me feel like the kids that were showing up there actually just like fuck you, dumbasses, kind of.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, do yours.
Oh, all right. Now we're into top five, I guess. My number five is Freddy versus Jason. So I will admit it, I freaking love this movie. I absolutely love uh Jason's portrayal in this movie as well. Like particularly there is a scene in this movie that is probably one of my favorite scenes in the entire series. And it's the part where Jason is like he goes to that rave that's over by like the cornfield and they like set him on those two teenagers like set him on fire or whatever. And I that scene to me just it's like the whole scenario that happens there is just absolutely epic and I love it. But also Freddy and Jason's fight is really fun to watch. It's pretty fun. It's definitely a blast of a movie to watch. The only reason why it's not higher is I the like it's fun when you're seeing Freddy and Jason in there, which is obviously what you want to go to the movie to watch for. But the characters themselves, I don't really like any of them, nor do I care about any of them. It just feels like all the stuff that's happening in between Jason and Freddy, like fighting each other, all of that just feels like fluff stuff. It kind of feels like, okay, can we get these people out of the way so we can just get back to Freddy and Jason? That's the way it feels, and I hate the fact that it feels that way when I watch the movie. That's the only thing that weakens it a little bit. And but yeah, I would be lying if I said I didn't love this movie because it is absolutely really fun to watch. But the only another downside is I don't really like the aspect. I'm not sure what writer came up with the idea. I know that the Friday the 13th movies are known for rewriting and reconfiguring stuff with some of the sequels,
Yeah.
which is fine. But one thing I don't like is they suddenly made Jason be scared of water. It didn't really make a lot of sense to me, or at least not fully. Maybe if it was executed a little better. I could understand if they tried to like maybe trap him underwater, sort of like what they do in some of the other films. That would have made a bit more sense. But they made it to where he's like straight up like almost like he's too scared to go in the water, particularly when he's in the dream world with Freddy. So that seemed
Yeah.
like didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But other than that, I love like the portrayal of Jason. I thought Ken, I always mispronounce his last name, but Ken Kritzner, I think. Uh, I think he did it. It is unfortunate that Kane Hodder didn't do it because for some reason they didn't want him to do it. I heard it's because
Yeah.
they wanted him to be taller than Freddie, but they could have just put elevator shoes on him. But anyway, um, but it is unfortunate. But I did like his portrayal. I thought he did a good job. So yeah, love it, love it, love it. So
Okay. So that was your
that was
five,
my
right?
number five. Yeah.
My number five is part two.
Ah, yeah.
It, I mean, there's not really much to say about part two. It was just kind of what irritated me with part two, and it actually is a continuation to irritate me with the Friday the 13th series is I don't understand. I never will understand why Jason stayed out in the woods and how that little kid survived out in the woods all those years by himself.
Yeah. I could see him surviving, but yeah, I don't know why he really stayed there.
I can't because for one, he was a mama's boy. He was a little bitch. Also, like, how did no one see this little boy running around the woods,
Yeah.
killing, hunting? That's another thing. Like, how did he catch all the stuff? How did he know what survival things to do to catch these things? Like, how did was he able to grow so fucking big on probably very little nutrients? Like, he was too strong for not being. It's like, what did he do? Like, when he hit puberty, just sprout up and then like, you know what? I'm gonna work out outside gym time. I don't know. I just two is just it's a good movie, and I do have a lot of complaints to it, but it's just mid. It's just to me like the OG, the remake. It's just it's nothing stands out to it. I mean, I guess the only thing is there, I do actually like Sack Jason. I do like the overalls and the sack mask. I do actually like that.
Yeah.
And I don't care about the characters of it as much either. But again, a lot of my things come from the fact that they didn't think they were going to make a second one, and so when they made it, they probably rushed a lot of things.
Yeah.
So that's why it still stays within, the 5 to 7 range. Like that's where I place most of mine that I'm like, they're good, but they're not my faves. There's less I hate about them than 8 to 12,
Yeah.
especially on number 12.
That's probably why it's your number 12.
But no, it's a good movie. It's just they still try to, do their whole what they did with number one, the camera stalking around, and
Yeah, I will admit the first like 30 minutes of the movie does kind of feel like a rehash of the first movie.
hmm
A matter of fact,
they
I think it literally picks up where the last movie leaves off, doesn't it? Or is that the third
yeah,
one that does that?
no. So this one picks up. I mean, I know it shows for Jason watching her chop his mom's head off. That's why he
Yeah, they
goes
show
all
like the
across.
last part of the scene there, or parts of it. So,
Yeah, because he was in the woods watching the whole time at that
yeah.
last bit.
All
Also,
right.
to anyone, my camera's having a fit, so I had to alter it real quick.
Let's see. Which one am I on? Number four? No.
Yeah.
My four is Friday the 13th, part eight. I know a lot of people don't rank this one usually that high. But I I actually really love this movie for some reason. I can't quite put my finger on like exactly why I love it so much, but I will talk about some of the things I really like about it. Uh I know like I most people's disappointment is the fact that they don't like the fact that he didn't spend much time in Manhattan, which that is unfortunate because mostly due to budget issues. But I
hmm
actually really like the boat aesthetic. Like it worked really well for a horror slasher film, I thought. Like a lot of long hallways and small rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thought it was that was a really cool aspect. And it after watching like seven movies, especially if you binge watch the first like well, all the movies, but especially the first eight films, it feels like a breath of fresh air to see Jason like be somewhere else for once after he's been for like six movies in a row, like out in the woods, and then his mom in the first one. So it's like,
Yeah.
so actually really like the boat scenes. It's actually probably some of my favorite part. The characters are pretty dumb, particularly the professor, I think he is.
Oh
Uh,
God.
he's pretty stupid. Um,
I mean, it is satisfying watching him get done barrel,
oh
but
yeah,
like,
that part was fun. And the boxer getting his head punched off,
oh
that was
God.
satisfying too. Even though it is so cartoony, it was so fun to watch. Uh, but and I actually like the scenes where he finally gets into Manhattan, that particularly scene, which it feels like the whole movie was made for that one shot where he's standing right there in Times Square and the camera's like circling around him.
hmm
That, but it was a really good shot. You know, they did a good job because they were like, we got to make sure this looks really, really good. So, and they did. So, but yeah, I can't quite put my finger on what it is. I actually like the little ghost aesthetic of the kid Jason lurking around. I'm not sure what the writers were really going for there, but I actually like that aesthetic of the movie. I thought it was a pretty gives it a pretty eerie vibe. And I actually don't think the like where he the part where the toxic like hits his mask and he takes his mask off. A lot of people complain that he looks silly. I actually don't feel that way. I actually think it looks pretty like the makeup was done pretty well, and I feel like that's how his face would look if that happened. But I know a lot of people complain about that. I just don't really feel the same way. But
I
yeah,
think a lot of
I
it's
really love this
because
movie. So.
I think with the face stuff, a lot of the problem is his face looked better on the other versions of him as undead.
Yeah, he did look better in part seven, I will admit. So the makeup was done way, way better in that movie. But I still love his look in part eight. Think he looks really good.
I just don't like how wet he
I
is.
like the wet look. I think it looks cool. So
Ah.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Uh,
All right. Well, I guess that's all I'll say about it. So,
all right, my number four is Freddy versus Jason.
yeah.
I mean, it's prime time, bitch. Come on. Uh, I did like it, and that's because I do like slasher versus slasher stuff, and it's the only one we actually got.
Yeah. It's unfortunate there's not some more of those. It would be so cool to see that.
Yeah. And I think and I love how they set it up just so well with especially coming off the ending of Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah.
And the whole that like, Freddy controlling him through, looking like his mom and then trying to get him to make people think that he's back and then he gets pissed off because well, I mean, it's a killer that's just randomly killing people when you set him loose. Like, come on, Freddy, you're a killer. You should know better. Um, Now I think with the whole scared of water thing is I think a lot of it's because Jason Goes to Hell skips a lot of stuff that was done in some of the other ones. And like also you got Manhattan shows now he's died three times thanks to water by that point. So I think they were worrying off the only thing that what would be the only thing that Jason would fear. I mean, he's drowned like three fucking times now. Once as a kid, once as an adult died, then was stuck underwater as an undead thing, and then was melted in water, so four times with water as a fucking undead guy in the sewers of New York. So I think it was just every movie is all about the water. So they were like, we'll just use water as his fear. Like Fred, and also it's the opposite for Freddy, whose fear is fire.
Yeah, they were kind of going for the battle of the elements sort of thing.
Hmm
Yeah.
So it made a lot of sense. Because I mean, there's hell. If Freddy didn't have a way to make Jason be afraid, then he would kind of still get his ass clapped. It's kind of how to give Freddy a little bit of a backup there. But it's just it's overall a good movie. I do like how the ending set up. There could have been more stuff coming on later, but they never got to do it. Kind of
Yeah.
sucks. But I digress. Now, top three.
Woo! So yeah, my top three have pretty much never changed since I've gotten into the series. So these three I are the biggest reasons why I love this series so much. But my number three is Friday the 13th Part Two. I absolutely freaking love this movie. I love the final girl. She is my favorite final girl out of the entire series.
I'll give you
Um,
that.
yeah, and to me, she almost steals the show of this movie, actually, even more than Jason does, I think. Um, and I actually like a lot of the characters in this movie. Like her boyfriend's a really good character, I thought. A lot of the other people, the other teenagers, I thought they were all really good characters. Or well, not all of them, but most of them. It's kind of like
Mhm.
the first one. Not all of them are great, but the less good ones get killed off first, and it's kind of the same thing with this one. The ones that aren't as interesting, they get killed off first and then it works their way down. Yeah, I agree with Eric. I actually like the potato sack Jason. Obviously, I prefer the hockey mask more because it's more
Yeah.
iconic, but I do actually like that this one. Um, and I kind of like the where was I going? My mind just completely went blank right when I was in the middle of talking. I hate it when that happens. I kind of like the look. Oh yeah, I remember what I was about to say. I kind of like the look of Jason, like without his sack look too. I think he with his long hair and everything. I always thought
Yeah.
he looked really menacing. And oh, the scene where he's running around the car and she's trying to get the car to start, that is actually like if I it's not really creepy me watching it as the audience, but like if I was in that moment, oh my God, I'd literally be crapping my pants. Like that would scare the crap out of me. Because like that was pretty eerie, I thought. And but yeah, the only biggest major flaw with this movie is it doesn't really have an ending. He like busts through the
Yeah.
window to because it does the false ending thing like the first one does, and then he busts through the window to give the audience the shock, and then all of a sudden she's in a hospital bed being rolled onto the ambulance, and it's like, and she's sitting there going, where did he go? And I'm sitting there going, where's the friggin' ending of the movie is what I want to know. Like it doesn't end.
Yeah.
And then the credits just start rolling. I'm like, what the freak? That's
Yeah.
the only
Again,
thing I don't like about this movie. So
that and like Jason actually surviving and
yeah,
stuff is the only reason I have it at
that part I don't have
so
a
high.
problem with, but yeah, I don't like the ending as much. Mm.
But nah, my number three, it's funny for you is part three.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop myself when I was talking about it. I was like, well, I don't know what Eric's ranking is, so I better shut up. So
Well, I do like it because I do like the kills. Like, I mean, the one dude, doing the handstand and then just gets split in half.
that is a good kill, I will admit.
That was a fucking phenomenal kill. Of course, the scene of him coming out with the hockey mask. Like, even though I was never the biggest Jason Voorhees fan, I'm a Michael Myers fan. That's dope. Yeah, that's a dope scene. And the thing is, it's also probably like why they did the scene they did in Jason X, where after the nanites and he comes forward. I think that was a callback to that scene when he comes out with the
Oh
hockey
yeah, I never
mask.
even thought about that for it. Kind of
Yeah,
is, isn't it? Yeah.
I believe that's a callback. I'd actually have to look into that, but
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. But yeah, I do like the third movie. It's fun. I like the I really like the dude that actually originally had the mask that he takes it from, and I hate that he dies. But
Yeah, Shelly or whatever his name is. Yeah.
yeah, I do like Shelley. Like
Yeah.
I do like the characters. Like they were good characters. Now I do prefer part two's Final Girl versus part three. I will say that,
Yeah.
but it's a good movie to me. It's my top three.
I don't know. Shelly, he's too much of a self-victimizer. I don't like that with characters in shows and movies where they constantly victimize themselves. Oh, I know you don't really want to be with me. I don't know. It's annoying to me.
That's the only part I don't like about him. His goofy acting, how he acts. I do
Yeah.
like that. He does have some character flaws, like all of them, but like
Yeah.
that. Other than that, I do like Sheldon. Alrighty, so that leads us to our final two. What's
All
your
right.
number two?
Number two, Friday the 13th, part four. Um, I kind of like to think of like when it comes to Jason, like to me, like two, three, and four are kind of like the human version of Jason. And then when he comes
Yeah,
back in like six and so on, he's sort of like the undead or zombie version. And and so to me, part four is the best human version portrayal of Jason, in my opinion. And then we'll get to the next one. But so that's another reason why I rank this one so high. Out of what I feel like with the first four movies, like this one captures the best of what the first four were trying to do. What movie like basically I feel like four is the movie that one, two, and three should have been. So that's just my opinion. It wraps up all the
yeah,
good parts
yeah,
about the first three movies and it just makes one really great slasher movie out of it. Most of the characters are really good, and actually quite a few of the teenager characters are really likable. Some of the best scenes in the movies are actually like where not even any kills are happening. Like it's like just them hanging out, and they're actually pretty fun to watch. And but yeah, really good. And it I like the teenager house versus like the family house, like parallel the
yeah.
dynamic there. That was a nice touch to the movie. That was a good, and of course, this is the introduction of Tommy Jarvis, which is a good character. He's such a good character. He even carries over, even when all the final girls, with the exception of Alice and the second one where she dies right at the beginning, he even carries over to three movies because he's such a good character. And this is his
Hmm.
introduction. And But yeah, really
So I'm
good.
just gonna go ahead and say it because number two is also for me the final chapter.
Oh, is
So
it? Oh, okay. So we can just both
yes.
talk about it.
So
Uh,
yeah,
the
like
kills are really good in this movie
oh
too.
god,
Mm,
yeah.
mm, mm.
Like it was the almost perfection of the human Jason.
Yeah.
Like also like can we congrats to the kid actor who plays Tommy? Like the fact that shaving his head like he did almost makes him look if he was just like if they added some deformities to his face, to his head, he would actually look like the kid Jason.
Yeah, Corey
Like,
Philman. I always
yeah.
mispronounce his last name, but Feldman, I think. So
Hmm.
yeah, he does a really good job in this movie. So he's even at the very beginning of part five. He was supposed to be in all of the movie, from my understanding, but he was filming I think the Goonies at the time, and so
Yeah.
he didn't have enough time to do both. So they compromised and just had him be like in the first like that one little scene in the part five.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah.
we also get, oh, what's his name? What's the actor's name? Crispin Glover.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's really good in this movie.
He's a great actor. Like, they had some pretty good actors for this movie.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Ted,
Whoever was the casting director did a good job picking out some actors
mm,
for this movie. Ted White playing Jason Voorhees, he does a great job, of course. So
yeah,
most people's favorite portrayal of Jason is Ted White, and I can't argue with that. He does even though I do prefer C.J. Graham, I do Ted White definitely does a great job. So
yeah. I mean, we have Peter Barton. Like, there's some pretty good at that time
yeah.
stars. Like, it was pretty
You can
when it
tell like
comes.
by the time the fourth one comes along, this series was definitely gaining a lot more mainstream attention. So
Yeah,
and it shows with the more care and craft that went into this movie versus the first three, where it kind of was like they didn't really seem like they cared all that much. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you had Nick Savage who was in three and four. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not much else need to say about chapter.
Yeah. I
The
also
final
really
chapter.
I want to say his name is Danny. I think that's his name. He's one of the teenage characters. He's the one that hangs out with Kristen Glover's character a lot. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I really like his character too. I think he's really funny. So
I
but
mean,
I
dude
think that's
acts
his
with
name.
fucking
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy, so like,
But yeah, there's I could probably make a whole podcast based on how much I love this movie because I love it so much. So
which means
mhm.
that number one slot for both of us.
Yeah, part six. Yeah.
Jason lived, yeah.
But, oh
I
yeah,
live at least two and one.
yeah.
We're agreed on two and one.
Words cannot begin to describe how much I love part six, Jason Lives.
Dude,
I,
the,
I, I can't even describe it. It's just like I love this movie so much from beginning to end, to every scene.
like
Amazing. Yeah,
coming off of five to me, which is the shittiest one,
yeah,
they carried over in such a good way where Tommy's like, I gotta make sure this motherfucker's actually dead. After all this shit, I gotta. And the fact
yeah.
that,
I
stabbing him
love
just to
Tommy
double
Shelby's
check,
character in this movie too. Yeah, he's an excellent character. Yeah,
much better than they had him in five.
yeah, definitely. So yeah,
And like the fact that, the nod to the old creature films with like Frankenstein, the lightning coming down,
yeah. That was actually
resurrecting the dead.
the director, the producers approached the director, I forget his name, but about making a movie, and he was just like, they were like, well, he was like, well, what do you want me to do? And they were like, bring Jason back. We made a mistake with part five not having Jason in it. And he was just like, well, he was trying to think, how do I go about doing that? And he's a big fan, like you and me are, big fan of those classic monster movies from the 30s with Frankenstein and stuff.
Hmm.
So that's where he got the idea of like bringing him back with lightning. So,
Yeah.
and that whole scene, that opening scene of that movie is absolutely van freaking tastic. Like done so well too. The
Can we
cinematography, everything. So,
say, put a, an F in chat for like for his, Tommy's buddy there, like
oh yeah, we're the one where he gets his heart ripped out, literally,
God.
and that was epic too. So
But like, man, it's like, dude, he went with Tommy just to help him out a little bit, just to show,
yeah,
hey,
I know
your
you feel so
fears
bad
are
for him. Yeah. You're like, oh no, but
God.
it was also epic, and that the James Bond opening where it zooms in on Jason's eye, that was epic too.
Yeah,
So
dude. I mean, and again, one of the like beside like the only thing a lot of people I think what doesn't like about it is, of course, Jason's outfit. But
oh really?
yeah, I think I was some guy I was watching before. He's talking about how he didn't like that uh dollar like Harbor Freight get up. Is the way he put it, I guess.
Huh,
But the thing
interesting.
is, that's the same outfit that leads to the greatest design in six, because that's the outfit that gets all torn up and
Excuse me.
fucked up from. So without that, just normal woodsman, carpenter look, we
Hmm.
wouldn't get as badass of a look in six.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah, I have no problems with his look in six.
no,
I think he looked really good. So
I have no problem with them in six, seven. Like, he just looks good, and like. But my brain's like going through all the scenes, like
oh,
the
I'm doing the
RV
same thing.
scene,
Yeah. Oh my
and
God, that scene is so good. Yeah. I know I'm saying that about every scene, but I just love this
well,
movie.
like this is where I was talking about. Like Jason Goes to Hell goes a little too much with the action, the
Yeah,
boom, 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 whereas Jason Lives has that action,
yeah,
but it's more grounded. It's not just a bunch of motherfuckers just rapidly shooting. I mean, I do love the one dude that sees him and just shoots him with a couple paintballs. Like,
yeah. That was awesome. Yeah.
also, this is where we get the iconic him carrying a machete too
Oh yeah. Yep.
as his weapon of choice, because originally it was the axe as his weapon of choice.
Yeah. Yeah. He went through a few different weapons because in part two he carries an axe, and I think at one point he also carries a hammer or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he uses whatever weapons around him.
yeah.
This is where the
But yeah,
machete
most people
became
think of the
his.
machete, and this is the movie that introduces that. Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I feel like part six is like peak Jason himself. Like when most people think of Jason, they think of the way he looks in part six and the way he acts in that movie. So
yeah, they think of Undead Jason,
yeah,
and this is the start of it. The like six and seven were such great movies, but only if seven was allowed to be what it was going to be meant
yeah.
to be.
Seven could have been. It was a missed potential. Like could have been almost just as good as six if all that crap wouldn't have happened with it. So, but yeah.
But yeah, six will always be my favorite one.
Yeah, six is also a good one. I know some people don't like to like watch horror, particularly slasher movies, because not because they have a problem with the killing part, but they don't like with a lot of these movies, some of them do have a lot of like nudity and sex in them. But part six is actually a pretty clean movie, nudity and sex wise. And so if you're one of those people that don't like slasher movies because of that, I would definitely recommend watching this one, because you
Yep.
probably like it because it like I said, it's actually pretty clean. And it doesn't feel like it needs any of that anyway because the movie's like really good. It doesn't need any of that stuff, so
And the
because
thing
it's just
is,
there
like,
on its
it's
own. Mhm.
yeah, it's not about the horny camp counselors
Yeah, which part
anymore. It's
five, ironically, is probably one of the dirtiest ones, sex
yeah,
wise. So it goes from like one of the dirtiest movies to like the cleanest in the series. So,
yeah,
mhm. So it's interesting. And for you, one of the worst ones to the best one. Yeah.
yeah,
You're like, oh, I've lost hope in this series. Oh wait, it just got really epic again.
yeah. Like, and a lot of people, like one of my buddies, like, man, you just don't like it because it's not, Jason Voorhees. Like, no. I would have liked it better if the guy wasn't, he was actually acting more like Jason would since he's using Jason as a disguise. If there was less pointless kills and better kills at that. 'Cause, like all the kills were kind of just yeah to me.
Yeah.
Because even three Jason still as a human had way better kills. Two and three Jason. Even four Jason, I mean, they had better. Human Jason has better kills than Roy.
Yeah. I actually like the kills in part five, but yeah, the kills in six are way better. So
Yeah, they just.
yeah.
eh.
Yeah, that fun fact, the RV scene that was shot was actually the very last scene shot in the movie.
Oh,
Because
really?
yeah, they were afraid that with CJ Graham, since he's also a stunt worker, obviously they always pick stuntmen to play Jason.
Yeah.
Uh, they were worried that if he got hurt or something, that they would might have to wait too long to film more scenes. Because he literally was in that thing when they wrecked that thing. He was sitting
Yeah.
inside of it. And so they were like, well, let's film this one last. So just in case which he doesn't get hurt, thankfully. But just in case he does, that way we don't have to like take a long break for him to heal whatever it is that
I mean, it was
potentially gets hurt.
smart.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's interesting that that was the last scene of the film, or last scene filmed in the movie. So,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
also
it's
like the
it's
introduction of the they actually have kids at the camp, like because all the
yeah.
other movies they're preparing to bring the kids, but it never happens because all the teenagers get killed. And but this one, the kids actually show up, and they're actually a pretty fun introduction to the movie. So,
Yeah, they are.
and spoiler alert, Jason doesn't kill any of them. So,
Yeah, you thought there's a they balanced that so hard. Like
yeah.
there's so many scenes you're like, oh shit, he's up to killing the fucking little girls. No. Ah, thank God. Oh, Tommy came in time. Fuck yes. And it feels very impactful. And you get two actual because in number five, Tommy felt like an afterthought. The chick and the little black boy were more of the heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because like Tommy, like he got bumped on the head or whatever up in the loft, and he was just down for like ever. And then in this one, Tommy like redeems himself. He actually comes in fighting.
Yeah. He definitely is the protagonist of the movie for sure. So, or one of them, him and the
Yeah,
girl.
they made a good combo.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthew, I forget his last name, Matthew something, I think plays Tommy in this movie. And I thought
Yeah,
he did a much better job than the previous guy. No knock to him, that guy's a good actor, but I just didn't like the writing put
they
into
didn't. He didn't
as
get
much.
a
So,
script.
yeah. And I feel like, well, anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's our
I've said so much about
list.
part five, so I'll shut up about that movie. This is about
But
part
yeah,
six. Yeah. But yeah, awesome movie. It's definitely the main reason why I freaking love this franchise. Like, I've heard that the director wants to make a sequel to part six, uh, and kind of do the thing that a lot of movies have been doing nowadays, where they basically pretend all the sequels didn't
I'll
happen.
pull a Halloween.
Yeah, a lot of movies are doing that now, and a lot of series are. And he wants to make it take place actually in winter, apparently, in the woods. And he talked a little bit about the plot, but he hasn't talked about it much. But he's trying to, I don't know, it hasn't been greenlit yet, and he's hoping he'll be able to make it, or at least maybe make a book or something out of it. So we'll see what happens. But if he could make a direct sequel to six, like
And cut
I
out
would,
seven up.
yeah, I would love to see a sequel to six. That would be epic. So
Because thing is, if he could do it in a new seven
yeah, make a new version of seven, basically. Yeah.
and do it off right, like I would rewatch even five just to get up to the new timeline. Uh, uh, but that is our list. Well, we rank the
Yeah.
12 Friday the
Yesterday
13th movies.
I quickly went through Reddit and did a rough top. I won't do all of them because we'll be here all night, but the top three. A lot.
Hmm.
I was curious to see what a lot of people's number one, two, and kind of three was.
Yeah.
A lot of people's number one, based on my rough counting. So, because I jumped from tons of different rankings throughout Reddit. Uh, no, to no surprise, a lot of people's number one was part four, the final Friday, or the
Okay.
final Friday. No, that's part eight's name.
Yeah, it's
The
final
the
chapter.
final chapter. Yeah, I was like, I said final Friday. Part four. That's no surprise. Most people put number four at their number one. So that didn't surprise me. Part number two. Most people put six was the number two. Didn't surprise me. A lot of people love six. And
Yeah.
number three, a lot of people put the third movie as number three. A lot of people love number three. So three at three. Yeah.
I'm in that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of people's top three. So for the most part, yeah, we agree with most people. So with the higher rankings anyway. I feel like my most controversial ones was probably number three, putting it so low. And then
Yeah.
I feel like even though the 2009 or the remake isn't a praised one, I feel like most people put it more around the middle section. And I'm just one of those people that just don't really care for that movie. It's just really boring to me. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. Anywho, anything else you want to add?
Nope. Let us know in the comment section down below what's your top three. If you have a similar, if you're the same three, or if you're a weirdo and have like Jason go to hell in your top three. Also comment down below. What are you doing this year for Halloween? And with that being said, happy Halloween, everyone. We'll see you in November. Bye.